Okay, I think we're recording. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the first couple of pages that I see here. I have two phones, so this one has law of sines and law of cosines. So just a quick overview of those. Whenever we have a triangle, say like yay, we're going to go ahead and label it angle A, angle B, angle C. And then the opposing side, this would be a little lowercase a lowercase b, and a lowercase c. Now we can find, if we have at least 3 pieces of this triangle, we can find all the other pieces. So if we knew 2 angle measurements and one of the sides, or if we knew 2 of the sides and an angle measurement, or any sort of combination of those, using the law of sines and law of cosines, we could find all the rest of the measurements for this triangle. So for law of sines, which is really the easier one to do, that equation is, and your book might be a little different. That pen needs to be thrown away. Let's try this one. There we go. So sine of A over A equals sine of B over B equals sine of C over C. And we can do any grouping of these. So if we had A's and B's, we would just take it down to these two. If we had B's and C's, we take it to these two. So whatever grouping they give us, we would use this equation. Now we can use this equation so long as we have at least one pair. We have to have an A and an A, like we have to have either angle A and side A or angle B and side B, because we needed to be able to set it up as a pair. Also, if for some reason they gave us 2 angles but not the third angle, we could always get that third angle real quick because we know all the angles have to add up to 180 degrees. So if they gave us 2 angles, we can always use law of sines. If they gave us at least one opposing angle inside, we can use law of sines. If they didn't give us any of these, so say they gave us 2 sides and the angle in between them, then we are stuck using law of cosines, which isn't too bad, but it is a little harder. So law of cosines would be that, say, angle c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of c. Now this is true for whichever angle, whichever side we are missing. So this would be the same equation with b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine of b. Basically, the way I remember this is whatever side is here, all these sides are the other 2 sides. Do you have to have this formula memorized? Probably not. You get to probably just look it up. B squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. But you can see that in the equation we have these 2 sides and we have the angle between them. And using those we can find that third side. Now, once we've done that to find everything else, I would then switch right back to using law of sines to find everything else because it's just a lot easier. So this is just a little formula sheet. So we have all of our formulas. Now let's go ahead and jump into one of the problems. I'm going to stick it up there. I'll pull it down if we need to. So going back to the, let's see. I'll go ahead and just do number 1 on here as an example. So for number 1, they gave us, oh, that's a pencil. Let's find a pen, maybe. I have all of the pen colors. Yay. Okay, let's go with blue just to write it down. So for number 1, no idea what page this is. It looks like that. We have, see, math is so much more fun if you make sound effects while you're doing it. Just kidding. Okay, so 4, 6, and 65 degrees. So we know that we're doing law of cosines. Why? Because they told us that right here in the top of the problem. However, if they didn't tell you that and they just gave you, hey, find the rest, find C, then we would know that I have 2 sides and the angle between them. Looking at my formulas, I can't use any of these ratios for law of sines because I would need the 65 and the C to be able to put them into one of these. So I have to use law of cosines. So I'm going to write the formula down from the top one because we're looking for C. That's that top one. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of angle C. And now I'm going to plug everything in. So maybe we can color code it. So side A, that would be the one across from the A here. So that's going to be a 4. So I'm going to have a 4 squared here and a 4 over here. Side B is the one across from angle B. So that's going to be a 6 squared and then a 6 here. And then C squared, we don't know, we're looking for it. Plus minus 2 cosine. Now we do know angle C. Angle C is this guy right here. So it's 65 degrees, so cosine of 65 degrees. Actually, that should have been in parentheses. That's okay. Now, the nice thing is we don't actually have to do any algebra here because everything is all on one side. So there's nothing that we need to solve for. So this just gets typed directly in our calculator as it is. Let's make sure you can see it all. I have a whole collection of calculators that we could potentially use to do this. Here is a basic TI one that you might have. You can also put this, I highly recommend the website Wolfram Alpha. It's really great. You can just type things in. But here's what it would look like in this calculator. I'm making sure that it's on degree mode. So I'm going to type in 4 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 4 times 6 times, and then I need cosine, and it gives me the parenthesis. Cosine of 65 degrees in my parenthesis, and I'm going to hit enter. So there I go. It's not quite what we want, but it's close. So C squared is 31.714. We'll go to 3 decimal places. Now I want to square root this because I have C squared. So we're going to go square root this side, square root this side. That will leave me with C equals something. In my calculator, it's nice to go ahead and just leave that number in there and just take the square root of that answer. So I'm going to hit second square root of the answer. Now, if I didn't know to do that, I would just type this in that I had already written down. But it's good to have an exact answer. So we get 5.63. Let's see, did they tell us what to round to? I don't think they did. Oh, to the nearest tenth. They did tell us. Okay. So we want to round that to 5.6. And then there are no units, so we are good to go. That is our answer for number 1.